And that got me to a place where I completely hit rock bottom. What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Dani Marie, and today's video is going to be a little different. I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about some things that I've been doing, practical things that I've been doing to change my mindset from being less negative to being more positive. Now, I wanted to make sure I said less negative, right? Because we're still going to have negative thoughts come up. They're still going to be in our mind. We're still going to battle with having those negative thoughts, but I've been learning that it's important to become aware of those negative thoughts and not to identify with those negative thoughts and not to believe those negative thoughts, right? So to give you guys some insight and context into what caused me to realize that I needed to shift my mindset, I was in a place where I just wasn't happy at all in life. So I had a career that I hated, and I was working there for 5 years, and I hated it. And instead of listening to my intuition, instead of listening to my own inner voice, I always followed what other people said, and it got me to a place where I was very unhappy. I stopped listening to my own voice a long time ago and just became very not confident in who I was. I didn't even know who I was. If you were to ask me, what do you want to do? If you're not to do that career, then what do you want to do? I couldn't even answer that. I did everything that society told me to do. I went straight from high school to college, finished college, and around junior year, I knew that that wasn't the career that I wanted. I chose it when I was 18. I was then my junior year. I was 21 and had changed a lot and got into the career, did some field work and didn't like it at all, but I continued with it because my dad was paying for college and he wanted me to soon get a job. So I was like, I can't just drop out. I didn't allow myself to even just drop out. And then right after that, my dad was like, okay, so when are you gonna get a job? So it always felt like it was boom, boom, boom. You have to do the next thing. And I never took the time out to get to know me, and that got me to a place where I completely hit rock bottom. I hated my life. I hated waking up in the morning. I dreaded everything about the job. I just wasn't happy at all. I felt like a failure. I just felt really stuck. And anytime you feel really stuck, it's so easy to slip into depression because then your brain is ruminating on the fact that you have no way out. And that's all you're thinking. At least that's all I was thinking. I had bad thoughts when I woke up in the morning. I had bad thoughts at night before I went to sleep. But anyways, it kind of forced me into an awakening moment. It kind of forced me into a moment where I'm like, okay, well, you have to do something different. And I found myself having to tune out the rest of the world and to get connected to who I really am and get connected to my higher power as well. So these are some tips that I have gotten into that have helped me so much. So I just wanted to share them with you guys. Okay, so the first one is gratitude. This was actually one of the first things I started. Even at my lowest point, I started writing down things in a journal, at least 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for in this moment right now. And even on my very worst days, when I couldn't really think of anything that I was super grateful for, I would just go back to the basics. Okay, I'm grateful for my breath, the fact that I can breathe easily without any work. I'm not even thinking about breathing. The fact that I can walk and I can go anywhere I want to go. Those basic things, the fact that I can see, hear, smell, those things. And I try to hone in and focus on those things and think deeply about how grateful I am for those things. And it helps me best when I start in the morning and not pick up my phone and actually pick up my journal instead and write down the things that I'm grateful for. I feel like that helps even in the rest of the day and how you see and perceive things for the rest of the day. I don't know if you noticed, but if you start off negative, you see more negative things throughout the day. But when you start off looking at things that you're grateful for, I feel like you take on all those positive things, even if they're small things like, oh wow, like that lady really held the door for me and she didn't have to. I feel like it also plays into the fact of the law of attraction. By having gratitude, you're telling the universe, I'm grateful for the things that I have, and I'm open to receiving more in abundance. And then also it's like this, the more you think on things, the more they expand. So you think on the things that you're grateful for, they're going to expand. So another tip is looking outside of myself for inspiration. So this one was big for me because it helped me in a time where I couldn't even muster up anything in me to think of anything positive and to actually believe it. What I realized is our mind only goes off of what it already knows. Like, it's not just gonna magically think something positive tomorrow or in the next few minutes. It's not gonna do that. You have to train your mind to start thinking more positively. You actually have to expand your mind. So you have to put those things in when they're not there, right? So that your brain can open up to, oh, you mean to tell me I'm not stuck? You mean to tell me that there's hope for the future? You mean to tell me that there's plenty of other paths I could take? Like, that is what, like, my brain, it didn't even comprehend that at first. It was, oh my gosh, like, I'm a failure. What am I gonna do? Just going into catastrophizing the whole situation. Like, that is what I was doing. I had to start, like I said, reading books. I started reading Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. That has helped me tremendously at being able to stay present and not living in the future or living in the past. I love that book. Another book that I've been reading is The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. That book has been helping me with how to put positive things in motion even when you don't really feel those ways. Those are just a couple of the books I've been reading. Also, I started going on YouTube and looking up motivational speakers, and some that I love is Les Brown and Steve Harvey, Steve Jobs, and just different motivational speakers that would give me more hope for the future. I do have a 1-year-old, so I'm always on the go with him. So I listen to a lot of positive podcasts while I am on the go. Another tip that I have for you guys is positive affirmations. Now, the thing about positive affirmations is I used to think positive affirmations were fake. I couldn't bring myself to look at myself in the mirror and tell myself things that I didn't believe about myself. But now I've come to find that when you start doing them, you start believing them more. What really helps is to actually put the positive affirmation on sticky notes and put them places that you're going to see them, like the mirror, anywhere. I mean, just anywhere that you are going to actively see them. And then just read them to yourself several times throughout the day, and you will start to believe those things more and more. All right, guys, another tip is meditation. It is so important to get quiet and be by yourself, even if it's for 5 minutes. I know I have a 1-year-old. It's very hard to find quiet time. And then even when I didn't have kids, I felt like my brain was going so much. It was so hard to find time to meditate. But when you are in silence, I feel like that's where you connect with your being. I feel like that's where you connect with the universe. I love meditating outside. That's when I feel most connected to the universe. But even inside, it's just so important to find time to connect to your inner self. I like to do head to toe guided meditations because I actually suffer with anxiety. That is a huge thing for me. So to have something that actually guides me to focus on something throughout the meditation helps me at being able to meditate. But there are so many ways that you can meditate. Even meditating throughout the day, even when you don't get a time where you find quiet time, even if you're driving, even when you're doing the mundane things like doing laundry and doing things that you don't like to do, like, just find your breath and just listen. Listen for the silence, breathe deep breaths, find your breath. And that even helps with being able to be more present. All right, so this is my last tip, and it is the hardest thing. Okay, guys, it is the hardest thing, but it is surrender. You have to let go. You have to let go of control. You can't control everything. Sometimes things don't work out how you want them to work out. Sometimes they don't work out when you want them to work out, but you got to trust the process. That's what I had to learn. I have to trust the process. I have to trust the universe. I gotta trust God. It's not by my will that things are done. This was the hardest thing for me because you're talking about somebody who lives like 5 years in the future, who always needs a plan, who always wants things laid out for her, right? I am that type of person. It's very hard for me to let go of control because I feel like I have to control everything. But when I feel like I have to control everything, then I end up just exhausting myself. You really come to find that you don't really have control of a lot of things, and you end up exhausting yourself trying to control those things, and then nothing changed, and then you're suffering even more. But in letting go and giving your will over, that helps you become so much more open to receiving more, right? You're not just having this closed fist and just like, okay, it has to work out in this box, in this way. If it doesn't, then it's no way. Like, no, that is not how the universe works. That is not how life works. So you have to let go. So those are all my tips. I hope that this finds you well in your journey. I hope this helps you in some sort of way, guys. I just want to leave you guys with this. You are so powerful. Like, you are much more powerful than you even know. And the only thing limiting you is you. The only thing limiting you is your mind. Like, really, really grasp that. Like, you are limitless. There's nothing you can't do. I just want to leave you guys with that. Okay, guys. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. Until next time. Bye.